up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got an in the bag video. My name's Jadan Brubaker, and I'll be showing you guys what's in my bag. We'll start off with putting putters. I got 3. Most guys carry 2, but I just like to have 3 for some reason. Just what fits in my bag comfortably. And I'm putting with the Nexus AVRs. I used to putt with the KC Pro AVRs, but they were pretty hard and they were too slick for my liking. And these are beadless. I like a beadless putter for when I'm putting. And they just fit real nice in my hand. They're not too sticky, but they're also not too hard, so it feels pretty comfortable to me. Moving on to throwing putters. Probably my main throwing putter, I would have to go with the Halo AVR. I throw it mostly backhand, not really any forehand. I just pop it out and it goes pretty much dead straight, maybe a little finish at the end. But it's a very good flyer for me. And then my other backhand throwing putter is the Champion Rhino. Shout out to Jarek Oberholzer, who hooked me up with this thing. I lost mine in Utah, so he hooked me up with another one. But these things, I really like the thumb track. It sits real nice in my hand. The thumb track just gives me a good place to put my thumb. It's nice and overstable, so I can really rely on this thing in any wind or any condition. And pretty much any flex shots, I can shape shots through the woods with this thing. And really enjoy throwing this thing a lot. And then my forehand throwing putter is the Calvin Heimberg Tour Series Star Toro. It fits very comfortably in the hand for a forehand. Not many discs feel this well in the hand, so actually, again, just lost one, so I recently just put a brand new one in the bag. These things are pretty cool. Go check them out. And last, for throwing putters, this is kind of a fun one. I got the Garrett Girthy Tour Series Sonic. On the course, maybe like 150 to 200 foot up shots where I want to give it a soft little floaty bit. I usually reach in my bag and take out this thing. I can throw it out there, give it a nice little bid, but yet it don't go too far from the basket. So it's a fun one to throw, and it's a good one to warm up with too. And most people consider this a mid-range, but I don't know what I consider it. It's a Star Rat. This thing I really like for a forehand. I can throw it out, flip it up, ride it a little right. It's very straight flyer, so I can kind of throw it on whatever line I want. This is mainly break this thing out in the woods when you shape a shot, or yeah, it's a good shot shaper for sure.Moving on to the mids. We'll start with my first mold that I have in my bag. First up, I got the MD2 from Discmania. This one, well, actually both of them I've gotten aces with, so that's kind of cool. But this one here, I can throw it straight, maybe ride a little right, but pretty much a dead straight one right here. This is my money mid-range go-to for sure. And then I also have another MD2. That one was S-line, this one's C-line. This one has a little bit more beef to it, and it's pretty poppy top. Which this one does fly pretty straight too, but at the end of the flight it got a little finish at the end. So most of these I throw backhand. I don't really throw mids forehand unless it's like a mutant or a Cayman, which we'll get to later. Next up we got a Star V-Rock. This is a prototype Innova disc that I got. Actually, I don't even know where I got it from, but it was a while ago. And this thing's pretty flippy. I can throw it out on a little hyzer and it pops up and just rides to the right. So So this thing I really like in the woods too. I can shape it around trees. It's really money. This one would be the S-Line my go-to for sure. And then next up we got a Champion Rock 3 4-time Paul and Beth edition. So it's pretty old, but it's still got a little bit of beef to it. I throw it out straight, it holds its line for a little and then it just dumps at the end. So any mid shot that I need finish left, I'll be reaching in and pulling out the Champion Rock 3. And then a step up from the Rock 3 in the overstable category is the Star Cayman. This one I've had in the bag for a while. As you can see, it's getting a little beat up. So this thing, it's maybe not as flippy as one right out of the box, but I can throw it flat and you know it'll finish left every time. I throw this thing backhand and forehand, and it's pretty reliable for me. And then next up we got a utility disc, utility mid-range for me. This Mutant, it's straight beef. You can't really do much with this thing except throw like some crazy flex shots, or if it's a crazy headwind and you know you need the disc to finish right or left if you're throwing the backhand and forehand. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool to bust out every once in a while. Yeah, it's a fun disc to throw. Next up, we'll move on to the fairway drivers. And this here also is kind of a utility disc, I guess you could say, but it's a very old Champion Orc. I don't know where I got this thing from actually. I think I bought it from somewhere, I don't remember where. But this thing's pretty flippy. It's my roller disc, which I don't really throw many rollers, but every once in a while when I need to. Or if I need to throw a shot through the woods, a flip-up shot that goes and then rides to the right, a late turning shot. Thing's pretty money. Next up we got the Haley King Tour Series Hawkeye, which is pretty much dead straight for me. I can throw it out flat, it continues straight, and just goes for forever pretty much. Yeah, this thing's pretty money. If I throw it flat, it might drift a little to the right, but it's pretty much a dead straight flyer for me. And then next up, we got 3 Firebirds. First up, we got an Andrew Marley Tour Series Firebird. This thing's pretty straight flying actually for a Firebird anyway. I throw it flat. It holds its line for a while and then it got the old reliable Firebird finish at the end. But this thing's been I throw this thing all over many courses. I really love this thing, the way it feels in the hand. It just sits really well in my hand. And not many Firebirds fly this straight. And then next up we got 2 Firebirds, pretty much the same. Both Halo Firebirds, and honestly they both kind of fly the same. There's not much difference to them. I just have 2 of them in the bag in case I lose one, and it's always nice to have a backup of something. And Firebird's something I throw quite often, so I figured if any disc in my bag that I need a backup of, it'd be the Firebird. So that's why I got 2 of them. Alright, on to the drivers now. The big bombers. The fun ones, that's for sure. First off, shout out to my teammate Bradley Oberholzer, who hooked me up with this thing like 2 years ago. This is a Star Wraith that I kind of beat in. That it's pretty flippy and I like for long turnover shots and flip up shots through the woods. It flies very nice for me, and it's not quite my max distance shot, which is, who would have guessed, a Star Destroyer. Since all my other discs were basically Innova discs, I of course got to have a Destroyer in the bag, and this thing's absolutely money. As you can see, I use it quite often. I actually bought it just a couple months ago, went and got it from Helix. so you should go grab one for yourself. But this thing's money. I throw it out flat, rides right for a while, then has the old destroyer finish at the end and just goes for miles. This thing is very trustworthy, and I throw it all over the course. I also have a Star Charger in the bag, which it's pretty much a knockoff of the Destroyer. It's a newer version of the Destroyer. They say it's a little more understable, but this one is pretty new out of the bag, so I throw it out flat and it goes straight for a while and then has a finish at the end. So it's not quite as flippy as my beat up Destroyer, but it still goes just as far and it's just as fun to throw. And then I have another Star Destroyer in the bag. This is a Ricky Wysocki Saki Bomb 2-time Destroyer, and this thing's got a little beef to it. Throw it out flat, and not long into the flight, it starts to go left pretty quickly, which it's pretty nice. It's pretty reliable, and it's a good shot to throw for long hyzer shots. I usually pull this thing out of the bag. And also I got a Eagle McMahon Tour Series Cloud Breaker, which is kind of like that last Destroyer I just showed you. And it got a pretty similar flight. Same things with the Firebirds. I have two discs in the bag that kind of do the same thing, just in case I lose one, or yeah, it's always good to have backups in the bag. So that's pretty much what these two discs are. If I have a long hyzer shot that I need, I usually pull one of these two discs out of the bag. And last but not least, we got a Halo Juggernaut. And these things pretty much are right like the Mutant. They're super beefy, they don't go anywhere, and they just dump immediately right out of your hand. Yeah, it's pretty much the definition of this thing is beef. I can only maybe throw it 300 feet or 350 feet, so it's pretty much just a utility disc. Crazy flex shots through the woods, or if I have a crazy headwind or something, I might pull this thing out of the bag, but I pretty much just have it in there for utility purposes, and it looks cool. That's always the bonus too. Well, that's all the discs I have in my bag. We got a field right behind me here, so let's go see how these things fly.